Centene Healthcare, 950,000 members. OPM, 20,000 FBI employee records. Seagate, all employee W-2s. IRS, 700,000 records. LinkedIn, 6.5 million passwords. Ashley Madison, 25 gigs of cheater data. Soft Wallet, 700,000 credit card numbers. We've become so used to these huge numbers and headlines, you might have not noticed that I put some fake news in there. That last one actually did not happen. What's truly alarming is a lot of these breaches are caused by people authorized to be on your network. So we're not always talking about Russian hackers. Sometimes the biggest threat is an employee or a trusted advisor. And despite these threats, the truth is you want and need to share your data. Your data can't thrive when it's hidden in the silo, and if you can't share it safely, your best bet is not to share it at all. I have a personal sharing versus security story. My kids, these are not my kids, by the way. My kids refuse to be photographed for some security reasons. But my kids are old enough to start having play dates, and what could be better than getting together with all your friends and sharing your toys? The problem with this kind of sharing is allowing other people to touch your stuff, and your friends invariably do things with your toys that you definitely did not want them to do. You know, call these unauthorized uses by authorized users. The typical reaction is to shut down all play dates and cancel, go on a toy lockdown. Some games are just not fun, but anything is better than a headless Barbie. We see the same kind of optimism and disappointment with the data lake. Organizations build these huge repositories, connect their silos, and start filling them with data so they can share them. When you study this picture, you start to see the problem. You're not only co-locating your data, but you're concentrating users that used to be relegated to silos. But what are the odds that all these users should be able to see all of the data in their data lake? And just like the kids, you go on lockdown and you don't allow people to access the data lake. So you spent all this time and money building it, and the first thing you do is prevent access. It's the lack of good security that is preventing you from sharing. I haven't figured out how to fix this for my kids yet, but there is a better answer for your data. As the world's best database for integrating from silos, MarkLogic not only provides the means to integrate your data, but gives you the tools that allow you to secure and share it safely. You integrate your data so you can learn from it and gain insights, but you need to share it with tools and analysts so you can find those insights. Let me take you through an example from the world of healthcare. So with MarkLogic, you've created your Customer 360 Data Hub, and you're filling it with data that used to be in silos. This data used to exist in its silo, and each silo managed its own security and governance policies. Now it exists as a single entity. But what are the odds that everybody with access to your Customer 360 should have access to all the parts of these? With MarkLogic's element level security, you can continue to store the data naturally in this single entity, but give people fine-grained control to what you want them to see. So your call center members, they have to see some of your personal information, but not your healthcare record. Their view allows them to see just that. Your doctor obviously needs to see your healthcare, but not your financial information. And that's what they see when they look you up in the system. And like any good business, healthcare providers need to run analytics on their data so they can understand what's happening. This special analytics view allows them to see that while redacting PII. Important thing to note here is all three of these roles are looking at the same document, and it's MarkLogic that's constructing the view based on what they're allowed to see. That's element level security. In today's world of value-based and data-driven care, external organizations like the Healthcare Cost Institute often ask for data from providers so they can aggregate it industry-wide and see trends in the marketplace. It's in your best interest to work with these organizations, but you need to keep your customers' data secure. And in order for it to be useful, you need to mask the data in a way that people can be tracked over time. Leveraging MarkLogic's redaction features, you can mask PII and extract, but do it in a way that referential integrity is maintained. And what about your system admin and DBA? What can they see? In a word, nothing. Having root access to a system does not mean that you should get access to all the data. You don't need to share everything with your IT department. And MarkLogic's encryption features allow DBAs and administrators to do their jobs without getting special waivers. So let's think back to the data lake. You need to share your data. The writing is on the wall, and you can't perceive a future where you're not gaining insights across your organization and sharing your data with those that can make a difference. With MarkLogic, you can make those integration dreams a reality. Unlock the doors, and granular security is maintained. I started by talking about the apparent conflict between sharing and security. But if Barbie was treated right, she would not have to be locked away. But getting from this to this requires a change in thought. Don't make the mistake of thinking that data security is simply a means to prevent unauthorized access. You can do that just as well by preventing anybody from seeing anything. You can think about it as a means to share your data safely. It is data security that enables data sharing, and MarkLogic can enable both for you.
Congratulations. You did it. One of the things that was very fascinating about that is the fact that you can redact, and it's not just putting a little black line over something and saying, oh, no, you can't look at it. You're not even giving people the opportunity to know it was there.
Yeah, there's a lot of different options with redaction. What I did there was do deterministic redaction, which allows you to mask it, but mask it in a way that it's the same all the time. You can create dictionaries if you want to mask it with real names, for example, but you can't trace it back to what it is. There's a lot of different ways that you could do it.